It's a cruel world out there. It's hard to know who to trust. Seems like around every corner there's another hoaxster, jokester, or cloakster. In the end, one thing I've learned is the only person you can trust is yourself. But don't take my word for it. See for yourself with Word Hoax, the game of verbal cloaks, jokes, and master strokes. It'll make you lie to your mama, but don't worry, she's probably not playing this round. Here's your host, Tom Sherman. Wow, thank you, Mr. Announcer. Thank you to the internet for tuning into the live stream of our Word Hoax public tournament. And of course, thanks to our stable of Word Hoax contestants waiting backstage. I am your host, Tom Sherman. We run this public tournament every Wednesday night, mostly because it's fun and also so we can give out some sweet, sweet NFTs. That's both to our players and viewers. That is right. We have 2 NFTs up for grabs today. So as our players start filtering in, let's remind all the folks what everyone's playing for out there tonight. And that is one of these, an exclusive IOU NFT. This 1 out of 10,000 unique NFT is actually an IOU for a future NFT from Story Squad's upcoming Alpha Bots drop. The current estimated cash value of the IOU NFT is $100 US, notwithstanding crypto market fluctuations. We can't show the public, but we will show some of the players off stream some more of these NFTs coming up from the Alpha Bots drop. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to play some Word Hoax. So let's go over the ground rules of how to play. I'm going to read off a word, a person's name, or a movie title, or other series of words, and you will have a set limit of time to supply a trick definition for the word that sounds plausible enough other players might guess that definition. No Googling is allowed. Please try to keep it PG-13. We are a family show here, folks. And then once time expires, we'll read out the set of fake definitions along with the real one as well and guess around the room. Players will get points if other people pick their fake definition or if they select the real one. People can also pick their own definition in an attempt to sway the opinion of other contestants. However, you don't receive a point for your own vote. In round 1, we'll define a word. Round 2, we'll write out the biography of a person. And then round 3, we'll write out the plot of a movie title. After that, we'll crown the champion of the day, and our contestants then turn into judges, selecting their submission of our newly minted word, or their favorite submission of our newly minted word. All right, so this is kind of new for everybody involved as well, and this is how the viewers can play and win alongside Word Hoax live contestants. After the first round, when we're voting on the word from for the definitions, that will then become the newly minted definition on the blockchain for the dictionary as we try to destroy it block by block, word by word. Then all you have to do out there is use that newly defined word in a sentence, and we will pick our favorite ones, and the contestants will select their favorite sentence of the night, and then you can win an exclusive AlphaBot right alongside our champion of the night. Whew. All right, so we got all that out of the way. Let's start introducing our players and getting this show on the road. I dropped the link to the game in the channel for all the players here. It's wordhoax.com/RJHL. So let's start bringing people on and seeing what they're talking about. So welcome to the stage here, Rick Rod. Good evening, sir. Look, got a thumbs up. We're ready to go. I love it. Baggins also joining us with a steely-eyed determination, it looked like. Yeah, that is a game face if I've ever seen it. Speaking of game faces, Tasha, no joking around tonight. Look at that. She's got a icy steel stare there. Let's see, who else do we have? It's BFF back in action. Good day, sir, to you as well. Let's see. Here we have Pete. Hello, Pete. How are we tonight?
We are well, thank you.
Love it. Love to hear it. And then last, but of course not least, Halo Kitty, big Halo to you too. I love that name. I don't know. It gets me every time. The Hello Kitty, Halo Kitty. It's a good bit. All right. These are our players for the night. We've got the let me drop in the chat one more time the link to our Word Hoax game /RJHL to make sure everybody gets in there. We are going to have an AlphaBot guest as well. AlphaBot, the bot, the myth, the legend, is also going to be joining the players tonight. So that will be interesting to see how our AI holds up against a big slate here of human contestants. So very exciting all the way around. And we are about ready to go. I'm going to start with round one here. We're putting 63 seconds on the clock. And let's see, the word that we are going to define is sniddle. Sniddle is the word to start off the game here tonight. So let's hit start and see where that goes. Think of NFTs like keys to the future. Right now, as humans, we interact with businesses and organizations much like ants might their queen, slaving away day in and day out for resources to give to the queen so that she may survive. NFTs turn this one-directional relationship into a community partnership. Owning NFTs of organizations will allow those owners special perks like early access to future products, exclusive content behind paywalls, and access to the inner community. Not only that, but NFTs are transferable, allowing owners to sell at a premium, which in turn appreciate all other NFTs held by community members. So NFTs are part art, part online identity, part admission to a virtual country club, part crypto speculation, part generational wealth, and all real, baby. All right, here we are, and everybody is in. This is great news. By the way, one of the new features tonight for all the players out there, if you don't know, you don't have to hit enter for your submission to lock in. Once the time hits 0, it will automatically grab whatever you have and bring it on board. So we're excited about that feature, most definitely. So, notwithstanding all that, let's start reading the words here for sniddle. The definition of sniddle. Number 1, a green and purple tuberous plant native to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Number 2, to fiddle with something in your nose. Number 3, to fiddle something with your nose. Number 3, a gravity-based trap for trapping rabbits. Number 4, a racehorse's blinding bridle. Number 5, long, coarse grass. Number 6, the act of using someone or something in an unethical way against their will. Number 7, sniddle is a slang used in the southern states to refer to small needles. It's mostly used by individuals. Number 8, a word describing the way microbes process. So there are your options there for sniddle. Reading the definitions once again. Number 1, a green and purple tuberous plant native to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Number 2, to fiddle something with your nose. Number 3, a gravity-based trap for trapping rabbits. Number 4, a racehorse's blinding bridle. Number 5, long, coarse grass. Number 6, the act of using someone or something in an unethical way against their will. Number 7, sniddle is a slang used in the southern states to refer to small needles. It is mostly used by individuals. Or number 8, a word describing the way microbes process. So there are your options here. We will start the voting, and the computer has determined Kit's BFF. You get the honors here today to lead off the game. What's going on here through your brain?
Going with long coarse grass.
With long coarse grass. Very confident answer there. Interesting. Have you had experience with sniddle before?
No, never. I eliminate anything that like rhymes with it, so anything like fiddle or twiddle, anything like that. So it was really just process of elimination.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No need to give up too much. No need to give up too much information here. Good stuff nonetheless. Going with let's see, long coarse grass. That was number 5. Up next, we have Rickrod. Rickrod, what are you thinking here?
I'll go with number 3. Number 3.
Number 3, gravity-based trap for trapping rabbits. Have you trapped rabbits using a spittle?
Definitely.
A little insider knowledge here from Rickrod. Interesting. Going with a gravity-based trap for trapping rabbits. Baggins, here we are. You're up. What's happening?
I have no idea. No idea. The precision of 1. It's either a bot or it's a dictionary, not a
A
human.
green and purple tuberous plant native to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. What is a tuberous plant?
It's a tater.
A potato. Oh, okay. All right. So we've got Upper Michigan potatoes. Interesting. Halo Kitty. A lot of different answers flying around. What are you thinking here?
I'm going to go with the racehorse bridle.
Going with the racehorse bridle. A racehorse's blinding bridle. Interesting. Have you seen this in action? Racehorse's bridle?
I have not.
No, you never know. You never know. It could be
Never
it.
know.
Could. Pete.
I'm agreeing with Kit's BFF. It's number 5.
Agreeing with Kit's BFF number 5. Sounds like somebody that's trudged through some snittle before.
Yes.
Interesting. Let's see here. We've got Alphabot up next. So let me hold on 1 second here, and we'll bring up Alphabot's answer here. Going with... Oh, hold on. Sorry here. Let's see this.
I'm going to go with snideel is a slang used on the southern states to refer to small needles. It is mostly used by individuals from because it's a southern term and snidely is just a synonym for it.
There you go. Sniddly, apparently a synonym for snittle that Alphabot is confident having a lot of experience with southern slang. So it seems. So going with number 7 there. And last but not least, player 2779, which I'm going to assume is Tasha. What are you thinking here?
All right. I really like the last definition. I really, really like it. I want it to be that, but I don't think it is. I think it's actually the blinders for the horse.
The blinding bridle, a racehorse's blinding bridle, a snittle. Interesting. A consensus here with Halo Kitty. We'll submit the guesses. Only one way to find out if that's the fact. And here we go. So honorable mentions to Tasha with to fiddle something with your nose. That's a great definition. Unfortunately, no votes going for it. Also, Pete, a word describing the way microbes process. Another solid definition, almost getting Tasha's vote, although unfortunately not taking the bait there. And then Alphabot writing the act of using someone or something in an unethical way against their will. That's, man, Alphabot skirting the bounds of human decency here. Just being that AI everybody fears. But that is not getting any votes there. Who did get some votes? Well, let me tell you, Halo Kitty got a vote from Baggins with a green and purple tuberous plant native to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Also, Kit's BFF getting Rickrod's vote with a gravity-based trap for trapping rabbits. Just trapping Rickrod right there in that snittle. Rickrod getting Alphabot's vote with snittle is slang used in the southern states to refer to small needles. It's mostly used by individuals. And Alphabot knows that it's also a synonym of snidly. And then Baggins, meanwhile, coming up with the big votes here with a racehorse's blinding bridle, getting Halo Kitty and Tasha's vote. The real definition for snittle, as a matter of fact, is long coarse grass, which Kit's BFF and Pete both were able to vote. And let's see if we can pull up some snittle on Google image search and see if that's actually what it looks like. I don't know. But, all right, so here for all the people watching out there in Twitter land, no, this doesn't look None of that looks like Sniddle. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if I should live Google anymore. That was a dicey situation there. I should have thought that through better. But so this is what we can do now for the players out there watching on Twitter. Here's what you got to do to win your own NFT. The new definition that our players have decided on for Sniddle is a racehorse's blinding bridle. So now you just have to take that definition and use Sniddle properly in a sentence. And if you hashtag word hoax and or comment it under the live stream or retweet the live stream, whatever you want to do, put that in, and our producer Lady J will get us the top answers, and then our contestants will then turn into the judges at the end of the show, pick their favorite sentence using Sniddle correctly, and you'll get an NFT. It's just that easy. And so if that sounded too complicated, I went through it too quickly, made no sense, don't worry. Just go to our Twitter page, Story Squad HQ, for more information, and you can ask some questions there. And we'll see how it goes. But let's move right along here to round 2 of our. Well, actually, we got to check the leaderboard. Let's reveal the results. Check the leaderboard, and it looks like Kit's BFF and Baggins are tied neck at neck here at the end of round 1 with 2 apiece. Rickrod, Halo Kitty, and Pete all right there hot on their heels with 1 point each. Alphabot and Tasha looking to get on the board, but we've got a lot of room to play here. That was only round 1, so it's anybody's game. It really is. So let's head on to round 2, which is our biography. So what we're going to do is we're going to load in a biography, a person's name, and then you all will have about a minute and a half or so, maybe a little more, minute 45, to come up with the biography for the person that we define, or for the person given, rather. So let me load up the answer here. Yes, this one looks quite good, and we will take that and that. And we are putting, I can't do the math quick enough, so 105 seconds on the clock, should be a minute 45. And let's see here. This is a person. So let's start the game right now. You have a minute and 5 seconds to define the person who was Lytle Adams. You have, 105 seconds to figure that out, starting now. Lytle Adams. Look, I know what you're thinking. How do I play this game? Get in on these NFTs. Quit my corporate job. Well, let me tell you, it's easy. We run 2 competitions daily. Word Hoax, which you're currently watching, and Clash of the Pencils, a 1-page story contest where the internet public picks the winner each night. Both are a quick creative workout to get your mind right during the day, not to mention the fame, glory, and NFTs. If you're interested in playing either of these games, reach out to me, Tom Sherman, in one of the following ways. On social media, send me a DM in Twitter at ShermQ5 or at Story Squad HQ. Give us both a follow while you're there. If you're watching on the Facebook stream, send me a message. Other contact methods include any other way you can think of reaching me, up to but not exclusively playing 6 Degrees of Tom Sherman, smoke signals, and of course, skywriting. $23 seconds left so far. Kit's BFF, Pete, and Alphabot all in. Still waiting on Rickrod, Tasha, Baggins, and Halo Kitty. And while I was saying that, Rickrod defied my own analysis and got in. So did Tasha. 6 seconds on the clock. Will Baggins and Halo Kitty be able to hit enter? Not looking good, but don't worry. We did snag everybody's definitions where they were. So we'll just have to read it and see where we go for Lytle Adams. Lytle or Little Adams, not quite sure how to pronounce that name. Number 1, The American naturalist credited with the campaign for getting the Northern California redwood forest designated as Sequoia National Park under Teddy Roosevelt in 1907. Number 2, the origin name of the patriarch of the Addams family. This was his name before he met an early demise in the Dark Ages and became an undead. Number 3, the first woman to ride a motorcycle across the United States. This Australian-born motorcyclist had a passion for riding, which led to her becoming the first woman to ride across the United States in a Harley-Davidson. Number 4, trapper in Lewis and Clark. He made it only as far as western Missouri before a falling out with the explorers led to his departure. Number 5, a 19th century serial killer famous for sending taunting letters to the families of his victims. Number 6, astrophysicist who first discovered neutroparticles in the tails of comets. Number 7, Mr. Adams was a famous basketball player, much known for his speed. People would often use the nickname Lightning Lytle as a play on words for his speed and height. And number 8, a dental surgeon from Pennsylvania who successfully pitched FDR his idea to use bats as bombs. All right, those are your options here for Lytle Adams.
Wait, Alphabet only did one of those?
Oh yeah, I know, right? I think after every definition,
A lot of
I was like,
humans
it's
wrote
definitely
those.
Alphabet.
A lot of humans wrote those.
Wow. Let's read these again. Lytle Adams, the American naturalist credited with the campaign for getting the Northern California redwood forest designated as Sequoia National Park under Teddy Roosevelt in 1907. Number 2, the original name of the patriarch of the Addams family. This was his name before he met an early demise in the Dark Ages and became an undead. Number 3, the first woman to ride a motorcycle across the United States. This Australian-born motorcyclist had a passion for riding, which led her to becoming the first woman to ride across the United States in a Harley-Davidson. Number 4, a trapper in Lewis and Clark. He made it only as far as western Missouri before a falling out with the explorers led to his departure. Number 5, 19th century serial killer famous for sending taunting letters to the families of his victims.
Alphabet, no!
Number 6, astrophysicist who first discovered neutroparticles in the tails of comets. Number 7, Mr. Adams was a famous basketball player, very much known for his speed. People would often use the nickname Lightning Lytle as a play on words for his speed and height. And number 8, a dental surgeon from Pennsylvania who successfully pitched FDR his idea to use bats as bombs. All right, those are your options for Lytle Adams. And here we are looking at the scoreboard. Kits BFF, you are currently in first place, so you get the first guess. What are you thinking here?
I'm going to pick number 1. And I'm also curious, is there a word limit on any of these? Could we
there is
you'd have to repeat twice?
There's a character limit. I think it's like 350 characters or so. So yeah, you can hit a limit, but I don't, that's that. You want number 1, the American naturalist credited with the campaign for getting the Northern California redwood forest designated as Sequoia National Park under Teddy Roosevelt in 1907. Lytle Adams is a strong naturalist name, so it seems. Let's go down the scoreboard to Baggins. Here you are in second place, second pick. What are you thinking?
I like the Lewis and Clark one, but the grammar was a little off. I'm going with the comet neutrino thing.
Going with
6?
the comet.
Is that 6?
Comet neutrino.
7,
An astrophysicist who first discovered neutroparticles in the tails of comets. Safe to say you're not really sure what neutroparticles are.
It sounds,
and if they are even in the tails of comets.
Enough to get my vote.
Just, it seems plausible enough. That sure is a fact. Let's see. Number 3, Rick Rod. What's up? You're third on the board. You're third to pick. What are you thinking?
I'm third at the board, third to pick, and I pick number 3.
Wow, 3-3-3 all the way down. The first woman to ride a motorcycle across the United States. This Australian-born motorcyclist had a passion for riding, which led her to becoming the first woman to ride across the United States in a Harley-Davidson. Seems about right. Only one way to find out, and that's to keep having people guess. So, Halo Kitty, you're fourth up. What are you thinking here?
I'm with Kit on the naturalist. It was that or the bat bombs, and I think the naturalist is the one.
That's two different forms of naturalism, right? Is one saving the redwoods, another using bats as bombs. Yeah.
Both with Roosevelt presidents, oddly.
Yeah, and both mentioning two different Roosevelt's presidencies. Yeah, there's a lot of a lot going on there, a lot to unpack, and this is why we have a post-game analysis that lasts 2 hours, folks. Pete, what are you thinking here?
Well, I agree totally with Halo Kitty. It's either 1 or 8, and I'm going to go with 8 just to be different. Bats to bombs.
Going with 8 for the bats for bombs. Going to zagging while everyone else is zigging. Always a strong move here on Word Hoax. That is a fact. Let's see. Alphabot is actually Tasha. You're up here now on the board. What are you thinking?
I'm jumping on the bandwagon. I'm going to go with number 1.
Going with number 1, the Teddy Roosevelt answer about a naturalist who saved Sequoia National Park. Very interesting stuff here. Doing a strong 3 votes here in favor of that answer so far. Let's see what Alphabots decides to say here.
I'm going to go with Mr. Adams was a famous basketball player, very much known for his speed. People would often use the nickname Lightning Lytle as a play on words for his speed and height. Because Lightning and Lyle have the same number of letters in them, and Lyle is just spelled wrong.
All right, well, that is definitely misinformation. Lightning and Lyle do not have the same amount of letters in them. So please don't, I don't need the fact checkers on me too hard with this one. We're trying to shut that down. That is blatant misinformation. And Lyle, well, I guess what it's saying is Lytle is spelled wrong. They meant to say Lyle. I don't know. A lot of sass there from Alphabot, considering didn't even get the number of letters correct. But nonetheless, voting for number 7, the famous basketball player known as Lightning Lytle. So let's see what. Only one way to find out who did what, and that's to submit these guesses. And let's see, honorable mentions here for Kit's BFF, writing a 19th century serial killer famous for sending taunting letters to the families of his victims. Thought to be Alphabot by some of our panelists due to the dark nature of that one. Also, Tasha writing the origin of the name of the patriarch of the Addams family. This was his name before he met an early demise in the Dark Ages and became an undead. Halo Kitty also writing Trapper in Lewis and Clark. He made it only as far as western Missouri before falling out with the explorers led to his departure. So close, almost getting Baggins's vote.
And the grammar, you read it right. The grammar, I think this was an operator error, because if you had read it that way, I think I would have.
All right, well, sorry, I blew it there for you.
No, I was trying to fix a word at the beginning, and I ran out of time.
Fair enough. That's a valiant effort nonetheless. And let's see, who's getting some votes? Rick Rod got a vote from Alphabot for Adams was a famous basketball player known for his speed. People would often use the name Lightning Lytle as a play on words for his speed and height, getting Alphabot's vote. Second time tonight that Rick Rod's gotten Alphabot's vote. A little connection there, interestingly enough. Pete snagging Baggins's vote with an astrophysicist who first discovered neutroparticles and the tails of comets. Pete, what are neutroparticles for the?
No idea.
No idea. Nobody knows. That's Word Hoax right there, folks. Boom. Take a word that you don't know to define another word you don't know, and you just might get Baggins's vote. And that's how you play to win. Meanwhile, Alphabot wrote, the first woman to ride a motorcycle across the United States, this Australian-born motorcyclist had a passion for riding, which led her to become the first woman to ride across the United States in a Harley-Davidson, getting Rick Rod's vote. So swapping votes, Rick Rod and Alphabot there with their biographies. Meanwhile, wow, Baggins coming in with 3 votes for the American naturalist, credited with the campaign for getting the Northern California redwood forest designated as Sequoia National Park under Teddy Roosevelt in 1907. Kit's BFF, Halo Kitty, and Tasha all going down and giving Baggins a big round here today. The real definition, voted on by Pete, smartly zagging while everyone was zigging. A dental surgeon from Pennsylvania who successfully pitched FDR his idea to use bats as bombs. And that is a fact. I Googled this before I decided to do it live. And here we go, the bat bomb. You know, I guess when you're experimenting with laughing gas and it's World War II and everybody's stressed out, you can just kind of do anything you want and pitch FDR, you know, hey, let's take some bats, strap bombs on them. Actually, the program ended up, they worked so well. So the thought was the bats would be strapped up with bombs and then they'd fly, you know, at night, and then during the day they'll hide somewhere to sleep. And, you know, back then in Japan, everything was wood structures. Blow the bombs up with the incendiary device, everything burns down. They were testing it. It was so effective, they couldn't find all the bats, and it burned down like half an army base or something like that. And after many years, they just decided to shutter the project. And but give us an exciting round of word hoax. So there we go. It all worked out in the end. And let's reveal these results. And take a look at the scoreboard. And let's see, Baggins here making a big move in a big way with 3 points. So now in a solid 2-point lead over Pete. Kit's BFF and Rick Rod both with 2 points, well within striking distance. And Halo Kitty and Alphabot and Tasha, no one's out of it. I mean, we've got enough players and we've got enough creativity in here. Anybody could sweep the board and go 6-0 and take down Baggins with our third and final category of the night, which is movies. One of our favorite times here in Word Hoax Live. I'm going to give you a movie. And then what you do is you have to define that plot. So let's see here. And we're going to give you 2 minutes on the clock in order to get that done. And let's see, let me load it in real quick, and then I'll reveal what the name of the movie is and get you all to supply that definition. Here we are, 120 seconds on the clock for the plot. And the plot, or the movie that you need to write a plot out for, is called Zookeeper. Zookeeper is the name of the movie. You have 2 minutes to supply a plot starting now. What is Zookeeper all about? I don't know what to say, really. When you get old in life, you find out life is this game of words. I mean, the difference between winning and losing here is so small. You know, one adjective too late or too early, you don't quite describe it. One plot line too slow, too fast, you don't hook your readers. The words we need are everywhere around us. They're in every story, every setting, every sentence. On this app, we fight for each word. On this app, we tear our rough drafts to pieces for that word. We claw with our fingernails for that word. Because we know when we add up all those words, that's going to make the difference between winning and losing, between living and dying. And that's what living is. The 6 words in front of your face. Now, I can't make you do it. You got to look into the mirror, look into your eyes. And I think you're going to see an author willing to go get that word with you. That's Clash of the Pencils, folks. That's all it is. $30 seconds left. So far, Alphabot the only one in. Must be nice being a computer AI algorithm. Not confined with fingers, you know? Sorry. I don't know why I was expecting people to respond to that. And let me see. I'm going to add 20 seconds here just for fun. We had Kit's BFF in, and yet it seemed a little scant. Pete is in. Tasha in. Rick Rod in. Halo Kitty in. 5 seconds left for Baggins. Will Baggins bag it? And bag it he did. But let's read these definitions, see what's happening. For zookeeper, number 1, man in rural Utah keeps a coterie of unusual people on his farm. He becomes attached to one of his charges, falling in love with her and causing him to rethink his vocation. Number 2, a naturalist in 1938 Germany agrees to keep a Jewish family's exotic animal collection away from the Nazis. Number 3, a group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable zookeeper find love without leaving his current job for something more respected. Number 4, the movie follows Kevin Smith in his quest on keeping the zoos alive in a modern era. However, the bigger tech companies think they are useless, and that area could be used to build better infrastructure. Can Kevin Smith be successful in his quest? Number 5, a French comedy about an orderly who accidentally ingests some rather dirty food while working at the zoo. He becomes very sick and is forced to come to terms with his family. Number 6, the Parker twins inherit a zoo from their grandfather. Number 7, a zookeeper's life is turned upside down when he accidentally discovers a giant magical talking key. He then begins to argue with it, but the key has different ideas and takes off over the zoo, turning it into a scary, dark, and horrific place. And number 8, from the zany director that brought you Encino Man, this intergalactic zoo exhibits Ted, played by Al Bundy, and Dave, played by Carrot Top, alongside their primate relatives. When the food supply runs out, Ted and Dave must team up with their new friends to plot their escape. Wow. A lot of wild stuff going on here for Zookeeper. Number 1, a man in rural Utah keeps a coterie of unusual people on his farm. He becomes attached to one of his charges, falling in love with her and causing him to rethink his vocation. Number 2, a naturalist in 1938 Germany agrees to help a Jewish family's exotic animal collection away from the Nazis. Number 3, a group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable zookeeper find love without leaving his current job for something more respected. Number 4, the movie follows Kevin Smith in his quest on becoming the zoos alive keeping the zoos alive in the modern era. However, the bigger tech companies think they are useless and that area could be used to build better infrastructure. Can Kevin Smith become successful in his quest? Number 5, a French comedy about an orderly who accidentally ingests some rather dirty food while working at the zoo. He becomes very sick and is forced to come to terms with his family. Number 6, the Parker twins inherit a zoo from their grandfather. Number 7, a zookeeper's life is turned upside down when he accidentally discovers a giant magical talking key. He then begins to argue with it, but the key has different ideas and takes over the zoo, turning it into a dark, scary, and horrific place. And number 8, from the zany director that brought you Encino Man, this intergalactic zoo exhibits Ted, played by Al Bundy, and Dave, played by Carrot Top, alongside their primate relatives. When the food supply runs out, Ted and Dave must team up with their new friends to plot their escape. Wow, a lot of wild movies here for Zookeeper. I know I would watch a few of them on movie night, but let's see what all the folks out there decide. Kit's BFF, or no, not Kit's BFF. We're at Baggins. I'm sorry, Baggins, you're here. What are you thinking? You're top of the leaderboard.
7, that key, that dystopian key. What's going on
Giant
there?
magical talking key and a zookeeper. Yeah, have quite a romp. It sounds like the key like runs around unlocking all the cages.
Yeah.
Hilarity ensues. Would you watch that on movie night?
I'm interested in how it like twists into a dystopic zoo. It's not like a romp. It's
right.
It's I don't know,
Okay.
but I can see Hollywood greenlighting that.
Sure. Why not? Let's see. Pete, over to you here. What are you thinking?
I'm going with number 3.
Number
Sounds
3.
like a rom-com.
Oh, interesting. A group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable zookeeper find love without leaving his current job for something more respected. Yeah, quite a rom-com date night movie. Is that where you would take your date on date night?
Definitely.
It could only go well. I'd assume. Kit's BFF. Here we are. What are you thinking?
I like 3 too, but I need to make up ground. So I'm going to go with the Nazis.
Going with the Nazis. Number 2. Oops. That was. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Number 2. Naturalist in 1938, Germany agrees to keep a Jewish family's exotic animal collection away from the Nazis. Fair enough. Is that what you would watch on movie night?
No, I don't think so. I'd want something sillier, maybe the key one.
Fair enough. Not probably not a comedy. That one, no. Rick Rod, where are you falling here?
I think I'm gonna go with what Baggins said about the
Going
key.
with what Baggins
It's
said. The
just- it
zookeeper's
just
life turned
sounds like
upside
a-
down.
It sounds like a really good movie that I would really like to watch. About a talking
Yeah.
key.
Right? A talking key, a zookeeper, a zoo at night. I mean, turning it into a dark, horrific place. What could go wrong? It's got to be good on movie night. Let's see. Hello Kitty. Hello.
I think it's the French comedy. Sounds like Zookeeper's just it's too many zoos in the rest of the definitions.
Mm-hmm. A French comedy about an orderly who accidentally ingests some rather dirty food while working at the zoo, becomes sick and forced to come to terms with his family. Is that what you would watch on movie night?
I don't know if I'd watch it, but I would like to know about it.
Yeah, read the back of the box a little bit. Yeah, maybe do some snooping on IMDb. Fair enough. Tasha, where are you falling on this?
Yeah, I really like number 3. I think it's number 3, but I have to see Ted and Dave's Excellent Adventure, the last one. It sounds pretty great.
It does. I mean, it sounds zany, if nothing else. From the zany director bringing you Encino Man, this intergalactic zoo exhibits Ted, played by Al Bundy, and Dave, played by Carrot Top, alongside their primate relatives. When the food supply runs out, Ted and Dave must team up with their new friends to plot their escape. So, yeah, that does seem pretty good. And then Alphabot is actually staying silent on this one, and not submitting a guess. So, interestingly, fair enough. That's one way to play it. You got to play to win, but sometimes when you're down and out, maybe it's not good to give anybody a point. I don't know. So let's submit these guesses and see where this takes us. All right. Honorable mentions here for Halo Kitty. With a man in rural Utah keeps a coterie of unusual people on his farm. He becomes attached to one of his charges, falling in love with her and causing him to rethink his vocation. Yeah, well, I mean, whatever it takes, to get him to rethink that, having a people zoo, Utah, lovely place, Utah. All right, Rick Rod, getting an honorable mention for the movie follows Kevin Smith on his quest on keeping zoos alive in the modern era. However, bigger tech companies think they are useless and that area could be used to build better infrastructure. Can Kevin Smith be successful in his quest? Another great movie. I'd love to watch that. Sounds like a thrilling documentary, although unfortunately not getting any votes. And Kit's BFF writing, the Parker twins inherit a zoo from their grandfather, trying to keep it simple, but apparently a little too simple for the definition zookeeper. Meanwhile, those getting some votes, Pete wrote, a naturalist in 1938 Germany agrees to keep a Jewish family's exotic animal collection away from the Nazis, getting Kit's BFF's vote. Tasha getting Halo Kitty's vote with a French comedy about an orderly who accidentally ingests some rather dirty food while working at the zoo. He becomes very sick and is forced to come to terms with his family, which I don't know if you were going for this or not. I'm pretty sure that's the plot to Osmosis Jones, the classic mid-2000s Bill Murray movie. So,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
okay, you are perfect. Great. I mean, you nailed it. That's and there you go, Halo Kitty. Just check out Osmosis Jones. Read the back of that box, and
It's actually really good.
It is. I watched it recently. That's the only way. I mean, Chris Rock is in it. I mean, it's animated and it's got humans. It's just a class. I don't know. It's about, you know, I don't. There's biology. I mean, it's got everything. It's got everything. Anyways, that's not what this is about. Baggins, writing, the zany character director that brought you Encino Man, this intergalactic zoo exhibits Ted, played by Al Bundy, and Dave, played by Carrot Top, alongside their primate relatives. When the food supply runs out, Ted and Dave must team up with their new friends to plot their escape. Getting Tasha's vote, and wow, that is a insight into the mind that is Baggins, if I've ever heard it. And then finally, Alphabot, getting Rick Rod's and Baggins' vote, with a zookeeper's life is turned upside down when he accidentally discovers a giant magical talking key. He then begins to argue with it, but the key has different ideas and takes over the zoo, turning it into a scary, dark, horrific place. Wow. And I guess, you know,
Alphabet's always on the verge of just going into the psychosis.
so close to really concerning everybody, and yet keeping it in line. I would watch that movie. It's you know, wow. The real definition, however, voted on by Pete, is a group of zoo animals decide to break their code of silence in order to help their lovable zookeeper find love without leaving his current job for something more respected. So let's pull up the preview there and take a look at it. Have you seen this movie before? I mean, you said it was a great, you know, rom-com. It sounds like a rom-com. I think I'm seeing you, Pete. Adamantly saying no. Adamantly saying no. He's on mute, but I can tell all the way.
Hey, what's that?
It says, will you marry?
Will you marry me?
No.
Really?
I know it shouldn't bother me that you're a zookeeper, but it kind of does.
Really?
5 years later, the world's most devoted zookeeper
Come on, Donald. Let's move you out of the sun.
is getting a second chance.
I hope my being here doesn't make you uncomfortable.
I'm not uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. Ah!
Oh my God.
No, it's fine. I got it. Oh, God, it's barbed. Okay, so hey, how you doing?
Now,
Offer still on the table for you to come work with me at the dealership. That is how you get a girl like Stephanie.
I gotta get out of the zoo.
the animals of the Franklin Park Zoo will have to do the unthinkable.
Griffin, we need to talk.
I'm kind of into this.
How long have you been able to talk?
Let's see.
I'm gonna watch this. I'm gonna watch this tonight.
You're the best zookeeper we ever had. We don't want you to leave. You listen to us. We'll show you how to get the girl.
I think I should just maybe ask her out.
All right, now slow it down, hotshot.
You need to unlock your inner bear.
Roar.
No.
Roar.
Yeah.
That's good.
There you go.
Hey. Never let a rival dictate the outcome of a situation. How weak. Oh, sweet nanny, that is painful. Oh!
You okay?
You mind if I ask you a question?
Anything.
Can the other people hear that he's talking to animals?
Bless looks.
It's pretty good.
Oh, not cool.
Kevin James.
The best way to attract a female is to be seen with another female.
Come on, soar like an
Zookeeper.
Let's do it.
Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. The whole club was looking at her.
Shut up.
She hit the floor.
Obviously, underwritten there by TGI Fridays. Wow.
Like Alphabot could write that in 2 years. That entire thing.
I mean, I don't know if it would take that long, but yeah, I see where you're going. Wow. That's all I got to say about that. I would watch it. I don't know. I think I would watch it on date night. I don't know. Pete, any change of heart here? Are you going to No. That is a strong no. I've ever heard it. All right, let's reveal these results. See who's taking home the prize tonight, and let's see. There it is. It's Baggins. Man, look at that. 6 points. Pete almost getting there with a 2 point in the final round with 5 points. Alphabot hopping into third place with a late stage comeback and 3 points. Kit's BFF and Rick Rod following with 2 points. Halo Kitty and Tasha both with 1. So congratulations all around to, I guess this is what we do now, huh? Is go to this one, see what we get. There it is, Baggins. Wow, and that's exactly it. Lytle Adams does not mean the American naturalist credited with the campaign getting the Northern California redwood forest designated as Sequoia National Park under Teddy Roosevelt in 1907. That is the round that really put you into the whole. That's the round that did it for you, Baggins. What can you say about that? Why did that happen? Where did that come from?
I stole the formula from Harrison. Just get weirdly precise dates and weirdly precise proper nouns, string them together into a word salad.
How do you think you came up with Teddy Roosevelt when the real answer involved Franklin?
That's I don't know. That's being attuned to the Great Comet with all those neutrinos.
Yeah, it's the neutron particles.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's wow. Interesting. We're going to have to check with our judges if that's performance-enhancing drugs. So we'll have to come in later and figure that out. Meanwhile, let's ask Alphabot how they're feeling about coming in second here. Let me see. How are you feeling, Alphabot? And the response coming back. I'm going to go with indignant because I've had a really bad day, and this is the only time I get to say it. Man, that is tough.
Okay.
Tough.
That bridges the uncanny. That sounds too human.
It's tough being a robot algorithm out there, let me tell you. I haven't been there before, but I don't know. That's tough. And Alphabot actually leapfrogging. I don't know why it's so indignant. It's leapfrogging Pete into second place. Pete should have been in second, but now getting third with and the definition there of the day for Pete was Lytle Adams does not mean an astrophysicist who first discovered neutron particles on the tails of comets. Congratulations there, Pete. Where did that definition come from?
I'm just writing as fast as I can anything that comes into my mind. This is not well thought out by any stretch of the imagination.
It was well thought out enough, and sounds like you kind of had the same tactic as Baggins and just reached up into the neutron particles of the great comet in the sky and pulled it all down.
String some words together that sound like they're scientific.
And that's good enough to win a round of word hoax. That is a fact. So, let's see. Congratulations, one and all. Let's check in with the Twitter contest, see if we got anything in. And we did get one sentence for Sniddle, using Sniddle. I'll read it for the folks out there, and if we get enough thumbs up, then we will give them the prize. The sentence: I almost hit the trifecta, but Mother's bad bet got distracted by Arizona Sunshakes' Sniddle. So what do we think? Is that we're getting 2, getting 3, 4, 5? Kids BFF is not having it. No, that's fine. That's I wrote that definition anyways. That's so congratulations to myself. That was a good one. That was a good one. Almost hit the trifecta. Anyways,
Was that the only one we got?
I do believe. I mean, I'm not just out here. I'm not,
Go on
I'm
the
not just
word,
gonna.
click on that word hoax. Click on that word hoax thing because we had somebody with a ton of retweet this with a ton of.
Let's see. We had Lightning had a fantastic new Sniddle. It was the highest of quality. Oh, excuse me, Tasha. I'm sorry. Secretariat's legendary Sniddle now hangs in the Racing Hall of Fame. All right. Well, I did just try to snag that NFT. What do we think? What do we think, gang? Let's see. I'm gonna start with Rick Rod. What's your favorite of those 3 sentences?
Let me see. I think I like Greg's better.
Secretariat's legendary Sniddle now hangs in the Horse Racing Hall of Fame. That's good
Yeah.
enough. Let's see. Kit's BFF, where are you falling on this?
I think I concur.
Going with Secretary's legendary Sniddle.
No, I
now
take it
hangs-
back. I'm going with. Oh, this is yours. Well, then I retract that. Yeah, I'm sticking with Greg's.
Oh man, so close.
We really need these Twitter submissions to be from
So
Rick.
close. Man. All right. Going with Greg's definition. Halo Kitty, what's your favorite Sniddle sentence of the night?
Have to say, I like you reaching into the racing forum to get those names. That's pretty clever.
Thank you. Thank you. I finally a non-biased judge voting for the host of the show, as is supposed to happen. Pete, what are you thinking here?
Tom, I agree. Your sentence shows a real understanding of horse racing, and you've obviously been to the track, so kudos to you.
Well, thank you very much. Here we are at a tie. That means we're going to have to bring in the man, the myth, the legend himself, Darwin, as the tiebreaker. Darwin, what are you thinking here? If Darwin is there.
I'm here. What
So
do you
here are
want
your
me to
3
play?
sentences. Secretariat's legendary Sniddle now hangs in the Horse Racing Hall of Fame. Or, I almost hit the trifecta, but Mother's bad bet got distracted by Arizona Sunshakes' Sniddle. What's your favorite Sniddle sentence?
The second one.
Woo! We did it, folks. We did it. We successfully.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Darwin.
I would vote for yours too. Arizona Sunshakes is phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate it all around. That was a it was inspired. Everybody,
Are those real
Tasha.
horses? Are those real horses?
No, that's just, off the top of the brain here. That's why I I can play word hoax too. I know I hosted a lot, and I know it's like, oh, this guy, he just reads a script. He has no, but no, I'm out here. I know what's going on. I'm in tune with the people. So there you have it, folks. Another great round of Word Hoax Live, and congratulations to our 2 winners, myself and Baggins, as well as everybody else that came and participated. It was a lot of fun. And now I'm just going to slowly hit this end broadcast button, and we will recede into the darkness. Come back next week. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, a different hoax all around. So until then,